Recently, I was speaking with a back-end engineer, a great guy who is in between jobs and he has been applying only to PHP roles. And it occurred to me, many developers are unknowingly limiting their careers, not because they are not smart or lack skills, but because they are playing small without even knowing it, because of how they think about their career and their role. So here's the question. Are you limiting your future without even realizing it? In this video, I'll walk you through the silent habit and mindset that quietly sabotage even the most talented devs and how to break out of them. This is a common mistake I see people make, making a language or framework their identity instead of seeing it as a tool. Socializing isn't necessarily a bad thing, but being narrow-minded can be. Don't be the PHP guy or the React person. I believe we should all be a T-shaped engineer with deep knowledge on one skill and knowing enough across the board to be flexible. The same software engineering principles apply across programming languages. What differs most of the time is syntax and structure. One thing I'm really glad I've done in my career so far is staying somewhat tool agnostic. For example, I remember taking time to learn how tools like WordPress works under the hood, automated workflow with Zapier and Airtable, and now I use Salesforce, Apex, and Sokol at work. In 2020, after writing PHP for years, I decided to also pick up Node Express. Sure, some of these tools are niche and not so transferable, and I'm aware that there's a risk of being boxed in if we go too deep, but that's not the point. We should see ourselves as problem solvers first, the kind of people who see value in being flexible, willing to learn the right tool for the job, even if it's not sexy or mainstream. One thing to note is that employers generally value adaptability, and you're giving yourself more options in the job market as well. My rule of thumb is learn just enough to debug, deliver value, and keep moving. This is another common trap engineers fall into, thinking about writing 1,000 lines of code, creating PR is all there is to being a good engineer. The truth is, we are not paid to write code, especially not in this age and time when there is Copilot for code autocomplete and things like that. Our role is to make smart decisions and solve the right problems. Great engineers don't just build things, they decide what's worth building in the first place. They simplify problems, ask questions, and make calls that saves everyone time, money, and headaches. At a certain level in your career, value shifts from execution to clarity. You realize that you're not hired to just do the work, you're trusted to make good decisions. So here's the mindset shift. We should ask ourselves this regularly. Am I just writing code, or am I solving the right problem for the right people? Finding an answer to this will make a huge difference. This was a blind spot for me early in my career. I used to think if I just write great code, stay behind the scenes, that's enough. But sadly, not in this age and time. At some point I realized, and I even shared recently, how visibility is very important and how it changed my career. Beyond the quality of my code, being seen, being heard, and understood is also very, very important. Soft skills like writing, speaking, and active listening are just as important as technical skills, because the people who communicate well get better roles, earn more trust, and have more influence generally. You don't have to do anything huge. Start small. Write an internal doc, mentor a junior dev, share a lesson on Slack or Twitter, stuff like that. General stuff like that. You don't need to be a genius or know everything to do this. We just have to be one step ahead, willing to care, and brave enough to share what you're learning, even the mistakes. That's where the value is, and that is important because when people see you, they remember you, and that can make a huge difference. 4. And lastly, waiting for permission to grow. It's very possible to unknowingly stay in the same role for years, solving the same problems and calling it growth just because time is passing. I've seen people make this mistake. One thing we shouldn't do is outsource our growth or wait till it's too late. So if you are waiting for your manager or other people to guide your career, you might be waiting forever. You need to ask yourself regularly, where am I headed? What skill am I missing to get there? Treat your career like a system you're debugging. For example, once a month, ask yourself, what did I learn this month? What did I struggle with? What do I need to do to improve next? I have a Trello board called Knowledge Gaps where I keep topics of things I want to learn. Every week, I go on that list and pick an item to learn and study, watch a couple of YouTube videos on, read an article about it, things like that to gain a better understanding of a particular domain or topic. And if you want to take it further, share those reflections in a meeting, in a blog post, or a Twitter or LinkedIn thread. Like I said earlier, visibility is leverage, and you'll be surprised who starts paying attention to you when you show you're intentional about your growth. Well, that's all I have to talk to you about today. These habits might be silent, but they are powerful. And the good news, every single one of them is fixable. With small intentional changes like I suggested, you can shift the direction of your entire career. So let me know, which of these habits or mindsets do you think is holding you back? Let me know in the comment section. Like this video if you find it helpful. Let me know your takeaways in the comments, and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.